from Significant. This is Crack It in an Hour.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Crack It in an Hour. I'm Simon.
I'm Jesse.
I'm Roman.
And for those of you who listen, you know, and for those of you who don't, you might not, which is it's one problem, 1 hour to crack it once a week. These two today have no idea what problem I want to crack. Does someone have a timer for me? Can you pass me that one? Because I know I need a clock to get the hours started. But I'm excited to get into it. So, I mean, I'll do a little schmooze while you're starting to get this thing going. But you guys know, usually I have. Did you start it? Perfect. Usually you guys have a sense that I go after an opportunity in the market.
Yeah,
right.
You want to make a business.
I want to make business. I'm here to make dollars. Making nice things is great, but how can we make a little money on it? So listen, we can take this one a few different ways because I think there is business in it. I mean, a lot of people have attempted to do businesses in it, but there's also just a more holistic way of thinking about it as well. You're both going to look at each other and go like, okay, I think I've heard this before, and it's not exactly the same, but did you know only 1 in 10 Americans are doing this thing, and it's fundamental to your health, but only 1 in 10 Americans do it? Would you take a guess? I'll give you one more hint afterwards.
Flossing.
No.
You said essential to your health?
It's good for your health. I shouldn't say essential. It's
not
pretty,
a doctor.
I mean, now that I'm reading the data, it's pretty essential.
Oh, damn. Okay, I'm sleeping.
No.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Here we go.
It involves not eating something, and it's not fruit. 1 in 10 eat enough of blank.
Enough.
Protein.
No.
I don't know. Nuts.
What did your parents say to you?
Oh,
Vegetables.
God. This is going to be about drinking milk.
No, eat your vegetables.
Oh.
Eat your vegetables.
Yeah, eat your
1
vegetable.
in 10 U.S. adults eat the recommended daily servings of adults.
Which is what? Of vegetables.
Of daily servings of vegetables. Only 1 in 10.
What's the servings?
It's supposed to be 3.5, I believe, as an adult. Veggie consumption has dropped 6% in the last decade. Among kids and teens, do you know what the number one vegetable consumed is?
I don't know if it's technically a vegetable.
What would you
No,
guess?
it's probably not. Is a potato a vegetable?
It is. Guess what would be even more popular than every other vegetable? What form of potato?
French fry?
Correct.
Yeah.
People are more likely to eat French fries consistently than vegetables.
Oh, yeah. Well, French fries are the best.
I am not surprised.
Millennials and Gen Z
Strong
have
support.
a very funny and interesting relationship with it. And this is something I want to get into
With
too.
French fries or with vegetables?
With vegetables.
Okay.
Which is that they are a group that is as a demographic, this point in time, they are a group that believes they're eating healthier, but have never eaten fewer vegetables in their life than as a group.
Ooh.
So there's a real kind of thing there. Now there's a lot of interesting things around this. One is there's a ton of different reasons from a ton of different directions. There is you can go everywhere on the spectrum from people who are just plain old unhealthy all the way to people who think they're health nuts, but don't eat enough vegetables. It's a real interesting sort of dichotomy here of, I don't eat vegetables. I drink my green juices. Spoiler alert, that's not vegetables. Then to the people who are like, I don't eat vegetables because I think they're bad and I'm on some really protein heavy diet. Spoiler alert, you still got to eat some vegetables. There's some fundamentals to vegetables that are really good for the human body, namely fiber and a mix of fiber. A lot of those things, you just don't get the same amount of fiber in. Like eating a handful of carrots gives you more fiber than a giant green, I don't want to call out names, but the powdered, what you would call
Cool names. Who cares?
like an AG1.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So all these things that people think are supplements to help are actually lower than just doing the plain old thing. So vegetables are in a crisis.
That's a
One-
good line.
1 in 10 are eating enough. I would say that's crisis. We need to help the vegetable farmers of America get Americans to eat more vegetables. I can keep going, but I know I've already done a lot of the data.
Basically,
dump.
we need to get people to eat more vegetables, right?
How do we get people
okay.
to eat more vegetables?
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I ask a question?
Of course.
Where do we think this is coming from?
Well, that's the thing. It's coming from a lot of places.
Okay. Keep talking.
I can give you a few. One is popular culture. A lot of people who are into dietary health aren't specifically focused on vegetables. Another one is convenience. A lot of people find vegetables to be sort of impractical for as far as convenience goes.
Wait, what?
I mean, listen, this is something
Like
that
convenience as in, I get it, food deserts, and there's plenty of people who don't have access to vegetables.
There's that. And then there's also the fact that, listen, feel free to disagree with me or not. I think this to be true, which is for some reason in America, people think like a Cliff Bar is more convenient than an apple.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's just the way people think in
I
this
think
country.
it's insane, but
But
yes.
give me the vegetable example of that.
People think a Cliff Bar is
No,
more
like a French
convenient
fry
than
is
eating
more-
a carrot.
Yeah, okay. But
You
these
know
are
what I
not
mean?
the same use cases. But okay.
They are not. You're
let's
right.
Let's say we'll follow the logic.
Yeah.
It's definitely more convenient to buy French fries at McDonald's than it is to cook some spinach. Yeah, that's for sure. But,
Totally. So that's a thing.
Okay.
Food deserts is a thing. Access is a big one. Fad diets, bad dietary advice. There's another one there. People who think it's gross. People also being introduced to vegetables in a way where, like, for example, like I read a lot about like how like there's a lot of things around American food culture that don't help the cause of vegetables. Like for a lot of people's school meals, vegetables were done pretty poorly, especially when you see what else is on the plate. That's like chicken fingers and stuff like that.
Well, I
That's a
think I
little more
remember
appealing.
reading once that like the tomato sauce on pizza at school lunches was considered the serving of vegetables.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
yeah,
good
I'm
stuff.
pretty sure
That's
that
good
because
I read something that said that if you included ketchup, it would be one of the biggest
Yeah.
vegetables consumed by
Oh
kids.
God. Okay.
yeah.
Knowing that tomatoes are fruit, that's a
That's what they
that's a
consider
second layer of the
vegetables.
thing.
I don't think that I could be friends with anybody who doesn't like vegetables.
I love vegetables.
This is the bougiest thing you've ever said, actually. Like for like an American woman who grew up in the woods, you're like, no, you don't eat vegetables. I'm not.
Hard pass.
So that's it. There's a lot of ways we can go at this, right? Like,
Yeah. I love it.
Is eating vegetables a skill America hasn't learned? Has there just been not the right vegetable product? Is it a cultural thing?
Can
Is
I
it a
ask you-
health thing?
Can I ask a question that is, I think, going to lead us to maybe
Please, let's
just
get
one
started.
thing?
Yeah,
Is like, so did you look at cultural differences?
I did.
Is it how it's it like in
You know what?
Canada or
Do
in
you want to know?
Europe?
Do you want a country that over indexes on vegetables? China.
okay.
Huge in vegetable consumption.
Yeah,
And,
totally. I can see that.
And there's other countries too, a lot of Mediterranean countries, frankly,
Yes.
that really
Greece.
over index on
Yum.
vegetable consumption.
Yeah.
So there are places you can look to in the world where people have where people just, it's a bigger part of the culture of the cuisine to eat vegetables.
Yeah. Yes. I would say my theory on those, like the US is a very young country
Yes,
compared to pretty much the rest of the world.
correct.
Especially countries like China and the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
And the food culture in older country comes from what was available when there was only nature and
Yeah.
you couldn't manufacture anything, and you would
You
just
made the
like
best with this.
follow the seasons and
Yeah.
what was growing there. And that's where it started, right? So it's like the fact that the Mediterranean probably consumes like a lot of like tomatoes and cucumbers and whatever else fresh vegetables you can find there is no surprise. And when you go to China, there's a shit ton of like kind of
Vegetables.
I'm
Yeah.
looking for whatever it's called, like like call it like the bok choy and
Yeah.
cauliflower and
Leafy
and-
greens, all sorts of stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a term I can't find. Anyway, but the US is very different. It's like, you know, I think we talked about that before, but LA 100 years ago was basically, there was nothing.
Yeah.
So you can't really go back to that place of logical a cultural gastronomy.
True.
It's all manufactured.
But I mean,
So
even
you
100
have
years
to-
ago, I bet our relationship with vegetables were different. They just never figured out, like,
It was pretty quick, like the growth of like industrial food in the US. So like it happened like
yeah.
not 10 years ago. You see what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
totally.
it's been
That's
around
true.
for a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's just, I guess I'm not even making a point. I'm just saying we can't. My initial question of the cultural thing is actually, I thought it would lead us somewhere, but it might not, because there is no history of it.
Right.
So we may need to go back to
But America
what's
is
the
also
history of American food versus what was available 5 centuries ago, or 1,000 years ago to eat in America. You see what I mean?
I do, but
Yeah.
I would also say like America is quite a multicultural country for food.
Yes.
The problem is
Massive.
I don't think, like, obviously whenever any food comes here from another country, you're getting sort of an Americanized version of it. There's some that are more authentic than others. And that's not, I don't think that's a wild generalization to make. And if people are like, hey, this country's cuisine came here, and you know what? These people just don't eat vegetables. You're just going to keep running up against that wall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes, that's a good point.
Like, I mean,
That's
like
interesting.
there's countries where there's foods that I would find to be quite foreign that I'd be like, I'm just not interested in eating that. You know what I mean? And maybe for Americans, vegetables.
But also, now stop talking, Jesse, so you can jump in. But also, I thought what you were saying was, if you import a food to America, not all the times, but very frequently, it's going to be Americanized.
Totally.
And it's not, and it in a way that is probably going to be less healthy. Let's call it less healthy.
Perfect example. Chinese people consume a ton of vegetables. When I go to a Chinese restaurant,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not ordering mostly vegetables.
Perfect example.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm wondering how bad the gout problem is in the US.
I know someone who had gout.
I know multiple people who have
Isn't
gout.
that weird?
It's making me. It's
What's
like
gout?
It was like the rich person's. It was the king's disease.
no, and it
wasn't
was the pirate's disease.
That's scurvy.
But I thought pirates also had gout.
They probably did.
But basically, when you ate like
love
too
this.
much meat
And
like not enough vegetables,
you get gout. It's like for eating too many rich foods.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
But besides that, which
Yeah.
was
Where does that
running
take you,
through
Jesse?
my head? Well, I mean, I've thought of a million different things, but I feel like you said something at the beginning, Simon, that was really interesting, which is you were talking about diet culture, and I was suddenly thinking about how a lot of it is about what you should remove from your diet versus what you need to add to your diet. And so I've always found like certain, and obviously not a nutritionist here,
No, I know.
but like
Yeah.
Not financial advice.
not a fun.
Yeah.
I am a lawyer, to
Yeah.
be clear. But other than that, but I've always found certain diets to be like sus. Like the keto diet, for
Right.
example. I don't know. I'm sure there's science behind it, but
Yeah.
I'm like, so like high protein, high fat. Like we just are like, yeah, you just want to consume a lot of
intentional ketosis.
yeah. And I get it when you read about it. I'm like, yeah, okay, I make that. But like when you're eating it, I did it once and I'm just like consuming insane amounts of like meat and like cream cheese and cheese, like that. And you're like, this just like I don't feel good.
Yeah.
But then even when you think about like low carb diets or like any sort of like better for you fad or diet, they're never additive. They're always what to take out. And I wonder if over time that has sort of muddled the concept of like, just like most things in life. And we've talked about this on, I think, other episodes. Actually, I think it was the sleep episode, which was like, you kind of come around to you take in all this information and you come full circle and you're like, but like, just try to eat like a balanced diet, just have like a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
So much of it. That is ingrained in American culture.
Yeah.
Like not that, the opposite. The fact that everything's kind of marketed.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
everything
No,
is
it's like
marketed.
Everything is
it's-
marketed.
it's-
Brought to you by Significant.
Exactly. It's not like, it's exactly like the sleep thing.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, just make sure you kind of like try to go to bed
Oh, dude.
consistently
Yeah.
at around like, same
Yeah.
time every day.
Yeah.
Keep it between like, 6 and 9 hours. You'll be fine. No. It's like,
Wear this, try
wear
that, take this
thing.
thing.
Yeah, eat that thing.
Yeah.
Did you try
Yeah.
melatonin? And did you try meditating before going to
Yeah, I
bed? And did
know.
you try like, and it's the same thing. Everything's
Yeah.
like marketed. But what was interesting, what you said is like, it prompted a probably fairly obvious thought. But there is very likely a direct correlation between the amount of diet concepts and models and the amount of vegetables that's eaten in a country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
bet
can
you're right.
probably safely guarantee you China doesn't have as many weird diet concepts than we do.
Yeah,
see what-
100%.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
you
That's
see what I mean?
interesting.
Yeah.
So
Well-
it is solving
Yeah.
a lot.
The other thing I was
totally.
thinking about when you were talking about sort of cultural historical gastronomy, I think the scaled back version of that, different and scaled back, is the effect of what your parents feed you.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
that's
Huge part of something of the stuff I was reading too.
Yeah, I mean, talk about it a little bit. Like,
Well, basically it's there's two things about it. One is if your parents were bad at making vegetables, it sort of burns you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's all those little things. It's like
that's the famous like Brussels sprout story.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
From the school cafeteria.
or the school cafeteria is the same thing.
That,
Do you know what I
that's
mean?
sorry, I thought that was the Brussels sprout story. In
And-
France, it's like spinach. My generation, it's like it takes you a minute to. Now I absolutely love
I
it,
love spinach.
but it takes you a minute to come back from what you had in
Totally.
the school
Yeah.
cafeteria.
And it was the joke. I mean, literally, it was the joke I made off the top to give you the hint: eat your vegetables.
Yeah, it's
You're
like-
being told to eat them because
Yeah.
you didn't want to eat
Yeah.
them. You know what I mean? And like so many things.
So
just-
why is that? Do you
Because
think it's
I-
just taste that when you're a kid and it just doesn't taste good? Why doesn't a kid want to eat the vegetables?
I
Is
don't know if I'll say this, and again, my kids might join in and be like, "No, my dad doesn't know what he's talking about." But like, I wonder if the '80s, in my case, were just a low point in vegetable forward recipes in North America.
It was the beginning of like,
Because like now I could show you things. It's like I'll give you a perfect example, which is like when I go to certain small towns, I eat a lot of salad. You guys both know that. I eat quite a bit. I try to eat it for lunch. When I go to certain small towns and I'm like, I'll have the salad, it is just so disappointing. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, you guys just don't know how to make a salad in some instances. And I kind of feel like I'm like, did we just not know what to do with vegetables when I was growing up?
Well,
sorry, you go.
Well, actually, I don't think that what I'm about to say is entirely fair because people's exposure to new recipes and formats of cooking and their taste evolves over time.
Mhm.
But I actually think like recipes we were talking about the 80s, and I know I read this somewhere, or maybe I heard about it on one of the many food shows that I consume.
Yeah.
But like when you think about like cooking, like amateur cooking culture now versus cooking before, now it's a hobby, it's an interest, it's a
It is.
passion.
Yeah.
And in the past, it was it was like survival. Like in
Yeah.
the 50s, 60s,
Yeah, totally.
70s, it was like putting dinner on the table.
Yeah, it was like keeping
And
the
so there
family
wasn't
going.
a lot of interest in like, how do I flavor this? How do I
Yeah.
combine these things in an interesting way? And so that has a compounding effect over
Totally.
time. And I think I think vegetables tasted bad, especially if you weren't, I mean, if you pluck a tomato off of a farm and eat it, it's going to be amazing. It doesn't need any preparation.
Right.
But for most people, you were buying processed like
Right.
vegetables or
frozen
frozen vegetables.
or
Like there was,
canned.
yeah. And I think the effect of that has lasted longer than we might realize.
I think food is generational.
Yeah.
And to your point too, I was actually thinking about it, which is like
Yes.
when my machuta on one side of my family, my Lithuanian grandma, when she passed, before she passed, I wanted her to sit down with me and give me like my 3 favorite recipes that I knew she knew how to make. I didn't ask for all of them.
Yeah.
I asked for 3. and none of them were vegetable forward. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, now coming from that, I bet she knew how to make dude, they're from Lithuania. They know how to make cabbage and potatoes. But like, I bet she had a million ways to make those two things that I just don't know about. But I know how to make like the other things that I loved.
I have my great grandmother. I was passed down all of her recipes. I have them in a tin box. I have the original tin box she kept them in.
It's amazing.
And they're all on little like note card style. They're chaotic. Like,
totally.
Half the instructions are missing. And I started this project years ago that unfortunately I did not continue, but I started cooking every single recipe in the tin box.
Oh, that's awesome.
And first of all, it was crazy because most of it was like, and then,
tons of lard.
Do a couple stuff and like stick it in the oven. I'd be like at what temperature? Like for how long? Like what I think we're missing. But it was interesting because it was a lot of baking, first of all.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the savory recipes they're just meat.
Yeah.
There was no like concept of meal or like putting things together. And there was like, there pretty much I think there's a vegetable fried rice recipe, but I'm pretty sure it's frozen peas and carrots that go in it.
Right.
But anyway, I should do that again.
It's interesting, right? Because like, it is funny when I think about the vegetables that we cook in our house, me and my wife, I can't think, there are other things like my wife makes like an awesome roast chicken and it's a recipe she learned from her mom. And I know a few things like that I've learned from my parents, but the vegetable recipes we found on our own.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the generational thing is huge.
We didn't learn anything interesting.
Can I ask you guys a question? Because I also wonder sometimes, there's two ways to look at this. I think actually sometimes some trauma associated with vegetables. And that word is dramatic.
It's a dramatic word, but I know where you're going
people,
with it.
like when you were a kid and you were like, you will literally, like sometimes you just genuinely don't like something.
Totally.
And it's like, you're not going to leave
Mushrooms,
this table until you eat
yeah.
this. And you're like, okay, but I literally think I'm going to
never eating
vomit.
this again.
And that has an effect on you. And that's one style of trying to introduce vegetables to children. And then there's the other thing where it's like, not pushing your kids to try new things. It's like, if they don't like it, it's like, okay, that's fine. You don't have to eat it. Or you don't want this thing we made for dinner, so you can just have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Right.
Both things I think are bad, but what's the middle ground? Like how do you introduce?
What?
Do you have picky eaters in your family? Are any of your children picky eaters?
Picky, but not in a bad way. Picky as in, I want the good stuff.
Yeah,
good food.
Yeah.
It's like, I have a picky eater.
I got,
you do have a picky eater.
Yeah.
My son, who's 11, he's like gourmet.
Really?
Yeah. He's like, he won't go for like
if you were like, we're getting Domino's, he'd be like, come on, man.
Yeah. He's like, no, we're not eating Domino's. Like, you want pizza? Let's go to Little Dynamite.
That's a French boy.
Yeah. I mean, we're a French household, right?
Yeah.
My wife is French, and we grew up in France, and so I was thinking about like we all brought up like the memories or the nightmares from childhood, and the fact that your habits perdure, right? If you don't eat vegetables as a kid, you have less chances of eating them as an adult. But when you want to market, sorry, I used the word market, but it's just what we're trying to do. When you want to market something to a child, the parents are going to buy it, but we know you got to speak to the child or the teenager. And that's what I think we should be talking about. Is like, how do you speak directly to anywhere from like a 5-year-old to like a 15-year-old about vegetables. So they think it's actually good and cool, and it doesn't, because if you go back to eat your vegetables, we all know it.
We know it's not going to work.
You're like, I don't want to listen to my parents. Like, whatever, give me the French fries. Now, how do you make it cool? You got to make it cool. Like, what's the Barbie movie of spinach?
Right. Yeah. Totally. You got to make it cool to eat that stuff.
What's the Barbie movie of spinach? I don't know, but I want to work on it. That's
well, it's interesting because I was thinking about this too, which is like, it's not like there's one magic little thing you got to do and then the whole world is on board. sort of thing. I think weirdly, like this is like the sad truth of it all is like you got to build a culture around it, right? Now that's not to say you can't have like, I'll give you like, oh my God, let's brainstorm 3 vegetables that there was a craze for. Cauliflower. Do you remember?
Oh
when
yeah,
everything was cauliflower,
cauliflower
rice,
yeah,
all that sort of stuff. That one was a big one.
But that's actually
not
the
making
one.
it cool.
But that's actually
Kale.
the one that broke into diet culture.
Totally.
It's cauliflower specifically.
Kale had a moment.
So
Kale
wait,
went
why
from,
are you trying to list those? Where are you
because
coming
I was
from?
just thinking about when you said like, how do you make the spinach thing cool? I was like, I don't think it's ever going to be one food.
No, totally.
Yeah.
But I think approaching it that lens, that was an adult thing. That was like,
It was.
okay, I want to stop
and
eating
I'm saying
meat.
clear, and
if-
to be clear, if we can get adults eating
You
more
know, if-
vegetables, I'll take that as a win. Like 1 in 10 adults is eating enough vegetables.
yeah, but
I-
I think, I mean, I'm going to be annoying, but I think if you had
Shocker.
that data adjusted for access, it would be widely different. Meaning,
as in
on the coast in the US, that number probably shoots up, and in food deserts, I think food deserts it's a real
I agree.
thing. It's a real thing.
Totally a real thing.
So if you had it adjusted for access to vegetable, because access is a thing that's a little
Totally.
harder to solve, right?
Right.
Like some people have been trying and
Yeah.
way smarter and way more knowledgeable about the subject.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm trying to get to the kids so that it's a generational shift. And
I like it.
then we get to
Roman's got the long view. I appreciate that. I do.
All I can think about right now is how bad I want veggie lasagna.
Veggie lasagna is good.
all I can think about is Cody Rigsby quote, if cauliflower can be pizza, you can be anything.
There you go. See,
That's-
exactly.
That's the cutest quote I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, but I'm not going to answer your question yet about the how do you make it cool to kids. I do think it is a smart approach, but one of the things I think that should not be overlooked is the fact that tastes literally do change over time.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting to think about like how you actually make that like my extreme insane version of this is like it's actually a national mandate that like every 5 years you try 5 things that you think you don't like because you might
Okay.
actually like one
This
of
is
them.
interesting though, because here's a question about vegetables I've thought about but didn't want to, I'm going to say it now just to think. Do you think the problem is trying or habit building? And the reason I say that is like, for example, like I honestly think the problem with vegetables is like, I bet you if you gave someone the right recipe, they'd be like, yeah, this is good. I think there's a big difference between that and it becoming a part of their diet.
But I think you have to do one before the other,
Of course.
no matter what,
Of course.
because I think like you might go your whole life thinking you don't like something
Totally.
it might be because you've never had a good version of it. Back to the recipe thing.
Yeah.
But it might also be because you genuinely didn't like that thing 5 years ago.
And now you like it.
Then you're like, oh, actually, like
So it's a
that's
bit of both. Yeah.
that's
What are
pretty
things
good.
you like now that you didn't like as a kid?
Okay, so
I know for me, it's mushrooms.
I mean, olives is a great example. And I've heard this one from many adults where like, not even just as a kid,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
even in their 20s, they didn't like it, but hit their
Yeah.
30s and we're
Yeah.
like, wow, olives, amazing.
20s and 30s for me, that was whiskey.
yeah, that'll happen too. Vegetables are good with whiskey. It's a good pairing. I personally think that you can train yourself to like
Yeah. I
something.
agree.
I'm doing it right now with salmon.
Really?
Yeah. I've hated it my whole life. I'm eating it once a week now.
Are you liking it anymore?
I just tell myself I like it. And then I think I'm like convincing myself.
I love salmon.
I want to.
There's I think I buy your
Okay, so
I buy your thought.
but
that
do you think
can,
that's
like
a way-
self conviction
You can.
is big? Yeah.
do you
Yeah.
think that's a way for
Yeah.
mass adaption?
No, I don't think so. I think my answer to your question about habit or trying is a bit of both. You got to try to get into a habit,
Mhm.
but like you said, trying is not enough to get to a habit. But then when you look at habit building, there aren't a million secrets to habit building.
No.
You have to do it. And once you
You
do
got to
it,
make it easier to make the
once
habit.
you do it and you force yourself to do it, then suddenly it's a habit and you can't live without it.
Yeah.
It's the same with like working out.
It's a
Like
habit.
for people who like have never worked out and are like, I got to work out, you know, you usually say, okay, do like 10 minutes of something every day for 21 days and then you won't be able to. Like,
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So how do you do that? You know, it's like make it America loves a good challenge, competition, gamification, like make it a challenge, like make it a competition between friends. I don't know. Like there's, I think there's ways. You got to trick people into getting into the habit. Basically, it's not like form your habit. It's like how do you trick people into getting into the habit?
It's like, well, I'll give you one way that I know, if you want, especially if you want to get to kids. There is not a TikTok food craze that my daughter is not willing to try. She's like, I saw this thing, I want to try it. And like, we'll go buy the stuff and then she'll try it once and she'll be like, oh, that's cool. But other times she's like, oh no, I'm going to start doing this now. It's a thing now. And I'm like, oh, start with the TikTok food crazy stuff.
Did she ever come across the one with the woman who started that insane trend of eating spinach like a dinosaur?
No.
It's a good one.
Eating spinach
Did you
like
see
a
the
dinosaur?
guy who eats a head of lettuce like an apple?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
But the spinach like a dinosaur is actually a really funny, interesting example in this context, because it's literally like, she was basically like, I need more like greens in my diet, but like it's just not interesting to me. So I decided to make it interesting. Like, and she literally just started like the way like dinosaurs like munch on trees, started fistfulling like spinach into her face. And then people were like, this is amazing. This is how I'm going to eat spinach like every morning.
Yeah.
That one's
pretty good.
There's that thing actually, like talking about habit building and diets. There's actually that thing that we've been doing at home for at least a year. And it started from, there's that woman that pretty much now every Parisian knows, and she's been phenomenal at like spreading her theory, which I now completely adhere to. And she's called the glucose goddess. And people are going to smile a lot when they hear me. She's really smart, wrote a book and then became big, has a podcast, blah, blah. Her whole theory is you have to control your glucose peaks. So how do you do that? First of all, minimize sugar, but don't get rid of sugar, right?
Right.
And there's sugar and carbs. Don't get rid of carbs. But if I shortcut to solution, the solution is every single meal you start with the vegetables. The first thing you eat.
Because does that like ramp up blood sugar
that
slowly?
Puts like that basically helps with then after that control the sugar. You start with the vegetables, then you go protein, then you go carbs. And then if there's a dessert,
that's
you go
such
dessert.
but like
never, for example, never eat a fruit on an empty stomach. Never eat a fruit.
I do it every morning.
I do all the time.
And if you do it with some good fat.
Otherwise,
peanut
what
butter.
happens?
Otherwise, your glucose peaks suddenly. So
And
your
what's the
energy
problem
peaks,
with that?
but then you go down.
And
Then
you
you
crash?
have a crash in energy.
Okay.
Like the famous sugar rush for kids. It's candies, but it happens with us adults with a fruit, literally. And so anyway, long story short, my wife starts doing it at home. But then she actually starts when we all like sometimes, most times she cooks, sometimes I cook, sometimes my daughter cooks. The only thing that's on the table at the beginning of the meal is vegetables. And just
that's
by doing
interesting.
that, it was no like, okay, there was no big talk in the family. Hey, family, everybody starts with the salad. No, but now if you come have a meal at my place, everyone around the table starts with something green.
Well,
just because the parents started doing it. And now it's in the habit. And now I can't, if I go anywhere, I mean, you haven't noticed, but you will
eat
see
the vegetables first.
Always I'll have vegetables before I have anything else. And when I don't, then I don't feel as good. It's just placebo, but I'm like, oh no, I had, and I'm at the table with my 13-year-old daughter and she starts with like salad. So I guess my point is getting into generational habits, you get, you act before you push or force anything.
You lead by example.
You just model the behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the other one of the like key components to building habit is instant gratification.
Mhm.
And I think that's an interesting thing to think about when the thing itself is not the instant gratification. Like if you currently don't like vegetables, you can't say
That's a crazy statement to say too. Like you just don't like vegetables.
Well, like I said, if I have any friends listening and I don't know that you don't like vegetables, consider this the breakup.
like there's some vegetables I eat more than others, but like if someone was just like flat out like I don't like vegetables, I'm like, I don't think you can do that.
You know someone like that.
I
Do I?
100% do.
You do.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
No.
I actually
I
know
won't
a
name
couple
names,
people.
but the initials like MR, and we'll see if he listens to us.
Oh, really? No way. Really? Wow.
I actually
which is
know. Wait,
interesting.
I do have
Just
to say,
fried chicken and pizza.
I do know a couple people, and they do listen, and I do love you. But I think it's interesting because because you brought up working out, and many fitness platforms have like fitness had an instant gratification problem as well, because most of the results anyway took a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I mean, lots of people would actually experience them pretty quick, like mental benefit. Like, wow, I actually like feel better and I'm happier. But that's not true for everybody.
No.
And so a lot of fitness platforms built in instant gratification through things like push notifications, leaderboards, or like high fives, or like you're doing a good job type thing. And so you kind of have to look at vegetables the same way.
You're getting me started to think about business ideas.
Yeah, well, it's always going to come back to business, ain't it?
Yeah.
But it's like you can't say the instant gratification is the enjoyment of the vegetable, or like pat yourself on the back proud because you might not like vegetables. So how do you make it a habit through instant gratification? And what is the instant gratification becomes an interesting question.
I think I buy instant gratification. I mean, I do. I know it's real. But also fitness, which is a great comparison.
It is.
The reason it's gotten really big wasn't really instant gratification. It was like, you're going to look fucking hot. Which I think is real. And so
totally,
like
it's my favorite strategy.
No, what I mean is real is like that's why many people get into it. They just want to look better, right? But you could literally do the same thing with vegetables.
You'll look better.
Eat vegetables, look hot.
Get hot.
Yes,
eat vegetables.
Yes. You could.
Okay,
you
let's
could
talk
do
about
the,
this.
You could do the
Keep
same
going.
thing with vegetables.
So we create a get hot, eat vegetables campaign, but it's got to go beyond that, right? We need some sort of app with some sort of form of instant gratification that makes you enjoy the rewards of getting hot before you get hot. And then where else do we go from here?
Get hot, get rich. Eat vegetables.
Eat vegetables.
Oh my God, I love it. I'm sold.
But I bet you could very quickly draw a parallel between eating vegetables and being more attractive. Like I bet I could type that into ChatGPT and
you
give
find
me
the
3
benefits
points
immediately.
And here you
Something will give you better like skin on your face.
Totally.
A lot of it will remove some fat. Like whatever.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, it's very true.
Like it is
like,
proven. We just need to Google
actually,
So we go after vanity.
Yes.
Okay.
This is cool.
That's what I'm talking about.
We're such shallow people. I love it so much.
Humans are humans, man.
Exactly.
Can't change them. It is actually a trend that has been on the rise for a while, which is beauty food.
Yes.
Like it's become food has become literally one of the biggest beauty trends. For exactly what, you okay over there, Roman?
I just had a terrible idea. I'll tell you after.
I got an idea for the name of the company, but
I'll tell you after. Sorry, keep going because it's a great trend.
Like one of the most. It's been a really interesting. Like I mean, beauty has reached such peak business, and then in the last, I mean, it's been on the rise for a while, but I read recently that it's like one of 2025's biggest trends. I mean, there are lots of those, but which is beauty food, which is literally fixing your skin from the inside out, fixing your hair from the inside out. How do you have thicker, longer, more luscious hair?
Eat some avocado.
Eat this,
blah, blah,
exactly.
Blah. Yeah.
Almonds, really good for your skin. Like I worked,
Can I say something that blows my mind on this subject?
Yeah.
It's like people will buy pills
Totally.
with like vegetables in them.
I know.
but not eat vegetables.
But they won't eat the
To
vegetables.
avoid eating the vegetables.
I'm like, hey,
Yeah, it's not the
just
same.
eat the spinach. You don't
Just
need
eat the
you don't need to
spinach.
get
And
it
I'm
in the
so
milk.
curious.
because it's easier and they think spinach is gross. But guys,
But I will do, yeah, I mean, if you tell me, well, I say this a lot about drinking water, and I still don't drink water, but the only time I got interested in drinking water is when somebody said, your skin's going to look so much better
There
if
you
you
go.
drink water.
There
and I
you
was
go.
like, oh.
It's the exact same thing.
okay.
I love it.
And
This is
how
great.
much has water consumption gone up? Because water is another one to think about, right? Which is when we were kids, people didn't drink water like the way they do now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd
water's
say
cool now.
without looking at research, that's
yeah.
guaranteed to be
Yeah.
a fact. Water's cool.
Yeah.
Is
which
it?
is well, I mean, look at Stanley, look at the rise
You don't know
of,
what's
of,
in the Stanley.
of other things. As generally speaking, I had to do some
I think
deep dives on this.
hydration is
it's
cool.
water usually, the majority,
Yeah.
large majority. And now there's like the trendy water bottle. There's like a
Awala.
consistent churn. Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
there's all these things. There's a culture around drinking water
yeah,
that is
there
actually,
is.
it's not hot. I mean, hot's an outcome, but it's made it
what,
cool.
What I was questioning is the cool factor. I think it's
Yeah.
become mainstream. It's weird to say, hey, drinking water has become mainstream. But it's true
But
that
it's
people
weird to
drink more
think.
water and it's more visible than it used to.
And think about the branding of water. Like think about
Yeah.
like the things that like I groan
That's
about.
interesting.
The fact that like some people spend $100 on a bottle of water. There's a market for $100 water. Do you know what I mean? Like that says something about how well water is doing.
Yeah.
These days.
What was that guy who was doing an ice face bath in Saratoga Springs water every morning?
that
Remember?
was funny.
So like I
Yeah.
actually I'm with Simon. I do think water got cool. It became a whole
And-
became a whole like culture.
And like it's like, I mean, no joke. When I was a kid, like no one was drinking water the way they do now.
No, that's true.
And I know all my kids, like the only thing they drink is water.
Yeah.
They'll get a soda or something here and there when like on a weekend or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
But generally speaking, like water is what they're drinking a million times over. So
okay, so get
we
hot.
got a great roadmap. I mean, I got an idea for
yeah,
for a
yeah,
line.
go ahead.
Guys. Why have a warm meal when you can have a hot meal?
I'm so in.
We can make a company called Hot Meal.
Hot meals.
Hot Meals.
We got to make it with Mattel.
And it's literally just food that makes you hot.
Why have
And then
a
we just
warm
have these
meal
very
when you can have
vegetable
a
full-
hot meal?
Yeah.
That's the best thing you've ever written.
Thank you. No, I know. It's so good, right? And then literally it goes to like, we are going to make a line of food items that are very vegetable forward, guaranteed to have an improvement on your looks. And it's all going to be the way we trick people eating more vegetables.
I could cry right now.
Isn't it? But this is the magic of strategy and creative. You had a great insight and I took it and executed on it.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah. I know.
I don't
I'm
know
excited.
where to go from
I think
here.
we
It's
cracked
too
it.
perfect.
We cracked it.
It's
But I think
so
honestly,
good.
I loved your idea. I love your idea of going after vanity. And I think the thing about and the water thing is something it is not exactly the same thing. Because I think water was more about like, how do you create a vessel for it that makes it almost fashionable? Or how do you find a way to, what would you call it? Badge water when you're buying an expensive water. You know what I mean? Like there's all sorts of interesting things
Let
around
me ask,
water.
let me go off piece just for a second. How did we get here on the water thing?
Like just now talking
No,
about
how did
it?
we get, no, today.
to
as in,
where
like,
we are today
Yeah,
in
yeah,
water?
yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Like,
Because like
the last decade
In
has
my-
been crazy.
totally,
I
right?
think
It's like-
totally.
I'll give you my
Yeah.
unresearched take on it. I think usually when something gets really popular, it's usually mapped against one or two other things that are also getting popular.
Mhm.
Like I think the rise of workout culture actually
Yeah.
also
Yes.
gave rise to
Yes.
water culture, because then with workout culture, you started to have like workout clothes become part of the
Sure.
whole
Yeah.
thing. And then it was like, well, not just the clothes, but
health
the
around
bag
it.
you
Yeah.
show up with.
Yeah.
And then what's in the bag. And it was like, oh, the
Oh.
water bottle.
Yeah.
And also
And
the
then-
health around it, like
and
the
the health,
concept of
exactly.
hydration.
So I think all of those things
and
tracking
then it
together.
grew from
And
there though.
I would also say outdoor culture becoming less of an extreme niche for only like, because I think, again, unresearched, I'm going to start with Nalgene as the beginning of
The
the-
first.
It's not Gene.
Nalgene is
Do
like
you remember the clear plastic hard bottles?
Yeah, totally.
That was the
That's
first
a Nalgene
bottle. Like
Then,
as a main bottle.
my question was really more about the fact of drinking more water, not just the bottles. And I don't know what started first.
No, I mean,
you see what I mean?
I think you're right though. Around it did start with fitness culture.
Because
Yeah, I
then
think fitness culture is a very good
from Nalgene
theory.
to Hydro Flask. I think Hydro Flask became the next like thing. But
This is another conversation though.
it is.
The water's already in the bottle. Now the container conversations, you see what I mean? Like I think it started, I 100% agree with the fitness thing.
But this is the funny thing. It's like,
Wait,
because
you said it's a different conversation.
No, I was making a different point. It is not.
Okay.
I'm not saying that.
Bring me with you on your journey.
I'm saying that those things made outdoor culture, hiking culture, fitness culture. You can see the way that all of those activities, and then all the way into like broader mass fitness, became literally more accessible,
easier,
more mass events.
Yeah.
So I can look at like the different bottles against the different sort of moments in both outdoor culture and fitness culture.
the way I buy the exact same steps that you just laid out, which is like when I was a kid or when we played sports younger, a water bottle was a water bottle. Like it was like spray.
Oh,
it in
they
your
were
mouth.
gross. They
You
tasted
didn't-
like plastic.
Yeah, right. And like that was kind of the water bottle, and that's what everyone had. But then as culture around fitness got more out there, got more public, your bag to thing to what's in there. I totally buy that. And then skip, jump, cut. People walk around in
we're having
Lululemons
parallel
with-
conversations. So how do we apply this? I wasn't talking about the container.
I don't know how to apply this yet
I was talking
either,
about
because
the liquid.
I think that we think that the container had an impact on the liquid.
No, I think
Do you think there
I
was a
don't agree on
moment
this
people
one.
suddenly said, we need to drink 2 liters of water a day? Here we go.
No, I think fitness actually culture got to a better understanding of the role of hydration in your recovery, even when you don't do cardio.
Right.
And they got to drinking water, got to, I'm not going to buy plastic bottles or just
Yeah.
then got to, I need a bottle. You see what I mean? It started with
But
the
then
need
I
for
need
the
a
liquid.
bottle expanded the whole thing.
Yeah, then it becomes
Like,
people drink
yeah.
water, what you drink it in. But the people already drink
Anyway,
water.
let's talk about vegetables.
Yeah, but how do you
man.
do that? The reason I ask is how do you do that for vegetables?
I know. Well,
It's
you make it, again, the thing, go ahead.
Okay, well, sorry, not to interrupt you, but I am thinking there's a critical problem with vegetables.
You don't need them in public?
Correct.
So how do you make them more edible?
What consumption occasion are we talking about too? Because I mean, I
was
eat
thinking about
vegetables
this.
as a snack all the time. Like I come home and eat a carrot almost every single day.
Yeah.
And then I get the hiccups, which is a thing I'd really like to explore. I don't know why. But
maybe that's the first thing of hot meals. I don't know. Like maybe it starts with snacks. Like, do you know what I mean? Because like to your point, like it's not hard to eat carrot sticks, cucumber sticks, celery sticks, whatever we want to say, like in public, in coming from a little cup. But like, okay, here's an idea too. Here's a completely different way we could go with hot meals, which is what if we made it an accessory company for carrying vegetables? So it became sort of like you could have a cool looking cup to put your celery and your carrots. And I know we're all giggling because this is so dumb.
That's really
this
good.
could be a
No,
$1 billion.
I'm
That's
literally
really good.
tomorrow.
That's really good.
Cancel all other projects and let's only work on hot meals.
Can I counter hot meals?
Please.
Oh,
It sounds
no.
like Blue Apron. And when you're trying to
Maybe
sell.
it's a food delivery company.
You see what I mean? When you're trying to sell as vegetables, you sound like a prep.
No, we're trying to sell attraction.
Yeah,
Vegetables.
exactly.
You
Yeah,
need the
yeah,
full
yeah.
line.
Yeah.
You need the full.
I have a warm meal. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Listen,
It's
guys, we're just riffing here. But we got some good stuff here. I think you bring up a really great point, which is you need to make vegetables you need to be able to badge it. Like I am getting credit for this. I am cool for this.
Yeah.
Like it's literally like when I start thinking about water, because that's a great jumping off point. It's like when Jennifer Aniston is like, I got a water company. Oh, by the way, I'm super hot and this is my water. And you're like, whoa, okay, here we go. Like if you literally had like, hi, I'm attractive celebrity and I carry my carrots in this. I don't know,
I
guys.
carry my carrots. It's a pretty cool idea.
It's interesting.
And sustainable.
And sustainable.
Yes.
You know, right now I
Exactly.
carry my carrots in a Ziploc, and that's
Well,
bad.
isn't that where water bottle
Yeah.
culture started
Yeah.
from? Was we got to stop using all
Reusable.
these one
Yeah.
time
Plastic, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, remember when like they created like the I think it was really for lunch boxes, but like the banana shaped like banana like
Totally.
carrier so
Yeah,
that
yeah,
it wouldn't
yeah.
get smushed
Yeah.
like in the I like the
Yeah, and it's
idea
like-
just
yeah.
like shaped for like a broccoli
Oh
shaped.
my God. What if you did like collabs too? Like you do like
I think I would use a broccoli purse.
a broccoli purse would
It'd be
like,
so cute.
I mean, it would say
Like if
something about you.
Bottega in their signature green,
A Hot
like
Meals
a
Bottega collab.
broccoli
This
purse.
is really good.
This is very
I mean,
interesting.
or you literally do the same, because who's more credible than an athlete or someone in the
Yeah,
sports space
totally.
to be having a healthy life?
yeah.
But then you want it visible. So you literally follow then what was not a playbook, but what happened organically. You follow the water trend playbook. So you're going to
Yeah.
sponsor like ultra marathoners and hikers, and you're going to make them things that
Give
can
them
clip.
Yes.
They can
Oh,
clip
that's
their
interesting.
cucumber
Oh.
to their
Yeah.
to their bag.
This is a really
That's
interesting
so
idea.
good.
This is a really interesting idea. Because to your point, then you're going to like what I think was really interesting is like you can have different. If we believe the idea to make vegetable consumption is to give people an opportunity to badge it, you can make that badge anything you want. You could say, "Hey, I'm an athlete.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm sexy. Hey, whatever it is."
Yeah.
You can find all these different ways.
But
to
it's
do
true.
it.
Jesse's insight: make it visible.
Make it visible.
It's got to be visible.
This is like slightly off, not off topic, but like slightly off of what we're talking about. But it just dawned on me, and I don't remember the name of the concept. But remember when you were saying the person who eats a cabbage like an apple?
Yeah.
So there's like there's a concept, I don't remember the name of it, but when something in the real world is like slightly off, there's basically a guy on social, it might even be the same person, who gained millions of followers by creating content where there's like one thing that's slightly off. Like, for example,
That's
eating a piece of watermelon, but like starting at the rind.
Right. It's like
But,
the
he's
Justin
just
Bieber
sitting at a
burrito bite.
yeah, and you're like,
Yeah.
wait. And
Yeah.
like your brain does a weird thing and it makes you addicted to the content and it does a whole thing. And I was thinking about, I knew, like I've seen people eat tomato. I would eat a tomato like an apple, but also like a
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
pepper, like a,
Yeah.
you know, like a
Oh,
red
yeah,
pepper,
yeah,
just
yeah.
like biting into it. So I think there's actually an interesting content play around it because like, just as a thing running in the background, if you did like
I'm going
bizarre,
so many places
if
with
you
this.
if you did that, it'll start out where people are just like, that's weird.
That's
I'm going to
weird.
start watching that.
Yeah.
And then every day suddenly you're watching like crunchy, crispy, weird vegetable content. And then suddenly you're like, I kind of feel like I want to like buy a cucumber.
This is
Join
really
this.
cool.
That's
And,
Like
really
democratizing
interesting.
the weirdness of eating like a pepper and your cucumber at your desk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this.
Totally.
Yeah. But like
Yeah.
over time, I'm pretty sure because it is sort of literally almost a scientific way to gain views and followers because it does something weird
So
to
you're
your
saying
brain.
to promote this, we should just start eating
Yeah.
unexpected vegetables raw
I'm
for
gonna,
video
We have
content.
a Whole Foods across the street. I'm going to get us some random vegetables every day. We're gonna walk around the office.
I'm so in.
You get the cabbage, Simon.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
that is one that like
Cabbage.
the thought of like you know that one hurts my teeth a little bit thinking
Oh,
about, but I do
yeah.
love cabbage. but-
That is, yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, I think over time, when you like watch enough of it, you're kind of like, I don't know, I'm like weirdly craving that thing that I didn't think I liked.
There's so many, like the visibility thing was an unlock. The going after vanity thing was a massive unlock. Because I also like now what I'm starting to think about too is like, if practically speaking, eating like carrot sticks out of like a Ziploc bag does look bad. It doesn't look cool. It's in need of a makeover.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
your carrots need a makeover.
Yes. Yes, sorry. It brought a thought. Like the carrot industry did a pretty good job at inventing a product to increase the consumption of their product.
Baby
Like,
carrots.
Yeah, baby carrots.
That's
Genius.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
Genius marketing move.
It just doesn't look cool.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
But it probably did at some
Probably
point.
did at some point.
When baby carrots suddenly appeared in like grocery stores, people were like,
dude.
I have the baby carrots.
Actually, the
This is
carrot
awesome. Have you tried
industry.
baby
Actually,
carrot
the,
I have the baby ones.
the carrot industry is honestly killing it because then also then like the the heirloom
According to my
carrots.
statistics, they are not killing it.
Well, I mean, they're on some shit.
They're trying some stuff.
But then, like, I feel like, I mean, we're talking now people who probably already like vegetables, but then you introduce like the heirloom carrots and you're like,
man.
oh, this is like a purple carrot that has a gorgeous yellow inside. And you're like, where'd this crazy carrot come
This is
from?
awesome
But
carrot.
it's pretty cool. And
Is
it's
there
really
luxury
pretty.
vegetables? Does that exist yet? Like, are there you can, I mean, this drives you crazy all the time, but like truffles, right? Like, and how expensive they are here. Like, is there any equivalent to
wait. Just for the record, the price of truffles does not drive me crazy.
No,
just let the record state. I don't care about the price of truffles. What drives me nuts is people put truffle oil
That's
everywhere.
right. I'm sorry.
And that
I
is
misspoke.
disgusting.
Yes.
I
apologize.
stand
I stand by that
firmly-
too. Truffle oil is gross.
Truffle oil is disgusting,
Yeah.
and I won't be
Yes.
friends with
Yeah.
anybody who likes truffle oil.
But the idea of if you sold high-end carrots, high-end tomatoes, like I've seen strawberries. I've seen those crazy
those
strawberries.
Japanese strawberries.
Those Japanese strawberries. I
like
don't
the
know if I've
pears.
seen branded expensive vegetables. Have you guys seen that?
Yeah.
Have you?
You have?
Have you ever walked in an Air One?
Well, is it like
I know it's attached to the store, not to the product itself.
right?
But
But
Yeah.
are they just expensive vegetables, or are they like this is a pear sold individually by itself for $100?
Yeah, like the strawberries. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, there's vegetables like that.
Yeah, but no, but it's like, oh, this is gonna be like the tomatoes grown in, like in Puglia and whatever. There's probably not
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
a lot
but
of
I
water in
think
Puglia,
I
but-
feel like there's a gap for it. I do feel
agree.
like there might be a white space.
I don't. Yes.
Okay, let's
but I
pretend-
don't know that I adhere to that strategy.
Here's my crazy idea. I'm just throwing stuff because I think we've already cracked it. We're already beyond that.
Yeah.
But here's my crazy idea: is you start a farm that only does craziest, hardest to grow heirloom vegetables, intentionally hard to grow. And it requires certain soil, requires certain minerals, requires certain water, all this sort of stuff. You make it a club. It's an exclusive club where people now need to join with membership to get certain things sent their day. And as part of the club, you build a whole merchandising around it. I don't even know if I'm talking people into eating vegetables anymore. I think I'm just trying to make a fashion brand.
No. We need to go back to like the simplicity of a vegetable. It's not.
Yeah.
We can't overcomplicate that thing.
I think you're right.
Like, we
I
can't
think you're
go-
right. I think I
we
went
can't
crazy.
go exclusive. Just the look hot thing. I buy 100%. Like
Yeah.
everything so far, I'm like, yeah, cool. But this one is like, no.
Not
dude.
that
like,
far.
We're literally talking about just go back to nature. Go back to the simple thing. Just like it's
there.
no, but it's like, I know I can't go there, but it's because we don't have that much time. But it's like, don't make it an extreme because you're gonna create opposites, and you're not gonna grow your.
You're
your
actually
data.
going to make
Yes.
other carrots
You're
less
gonna
desirable.
alienate people. Are gonna be like, wait, what?
yeah, no, you need to
Like-
make the normal carrot
Yes.
sexy. How much
Yes.
time do we have?
We're like almost there at 2.5 minutes.
Okay,
Yeah.
Jesse, do you have a closing statement before I have to wrap it all up?
I don't even know where to begin. I think we're in business.
Okay, so I will try to wrap it up, but please jump in. I think fundamentally, we saw two massive ways in and opportunities. One is how can you show it in public? And two, how can you go after people's vanity? Right? So it was, let's make it something. Please jump
I had
in.
an idea. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
Go.
Vegetables at sports games.
Yes,
100%.
totally.
Like
Love it.
Literally,
Totally.
I just
Yeah.
was like suddenly had a flash image of like people in stadiums at like the Super Bowl, but like crunching on like
like giant carrots.
carrots and
Yeah,
like
dude.
The longest carrot.
no, but it's
No.
it's interesting. Like I'm thinking about this, not just the luxury idea, but or like
Yeah.
the accessories idea, but like introducing it into physical spaces and places
I agree.
where it might be unexpected, but all of a sudden, again, I think the group think happens when you're like, well, all these people around me are like eating these vegetables and it kind of looks good. I kind of want that anyway.
Okay, I also have one last idea before you go.
Please
and
go.
Something that's been on my mind for years actually is like, why don't restaurants serve certain vegetables like people are used to eating bad food? Example, why don't you serve asparagus like fries? They don't need to be deep fried. Just cut them the right length. And then you serve
them
it,
in the little
and
thing.
you put them in the middle of the thing, and then you just pick them and
That's
dip in them. You
interesting.
see what I mean? And there's
Yeah.
a bunch of vegetables you could do that with,
Ooh,
as opposed to making it fancy with like
Yeah.
the balsamic and the breadcrumbs and the whatever.
Intentionally don't
and the
make it fancy.
Yeah, make it simple, easy to snack in the middle of a table in a fancy restaurant, like a French
I
fry.
like that.
I know that this is expensive, but instead of having free
Snacking
like bread
asparagus.
service in the center of the table, I think restaurants should just stick down like a plate of vegetables. And like
100%.
that's
Oh,
that's
man.
like the bread service.
This is tell This is good.
Okay,
All
sorry,
right, wrap us
Simon.
up.
Okay,
sorry.
make it easier. There's the third one. So approach vanity, let people be able to or tell people it's going to make them hot. 2, allow people to badge and show off, make it something interesting in public. And then 3, simplicity, make it a lot more simple. So we talked about a lot of interesting things. One is food that is intentionally built to make people hot, and see what you can do using that. That's what we're going to do with vegetables. Another one is make a world of accessories around vegetables that make you be seen in eating them in a cool way, gives you a reason to carry them, gets rid of the whole portability excuse, and actually makes you want to carry them. And then the third one, to your point that you brought in at the end there, was just what are ways that it could just show up in more places, being more accessible and easier, whether that be sporting events, whether that be a little cup of asparagus fingers that you can have as a thing to eat before your meal. So I'm going to go around. I'm excited, as you can tell. But Jesse, did we crack it?
1,000,000,000% cracked.
Roman,
No
did we
further
crack it?
comments.
We cracked it.
We cracked it, guys. I think we cracked it. I mean, all 3 of us. I don't know the last time all 3 of us agreed we cracked it.
Wow.
We cracked this one.
Yeah.
We can, vegetable companies of America,
Call
give
us.
us a call. We are ready to go. We are excited about what we got. I think we could crush this. I'm not joking. I'm excited about
I
this,
am
guys.
too.
We cracked vegetables.
We cracked vegetables.
Oh man.
All right,
Oh
let's go.
my
Let's go
God.
create
All right.
cucumber containers.
Let's do it.
All right.
Thank you all for listening and watching. We'll see you next time on another episode of Crack It in an Hour. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Crack It in an Hour. If you like the show, please don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen. If you have questions, thoughts, or feedback, shoot us an email at hello@crackitpodcast.com or on Instagram @crackitpodcast. Music done by Michael Anastasi, cover art shot by Mick Mint, and all things audio and video taken care of by Nathan Nash. See you next time.